Hi Lee, if I could just start with the QPR game the other night.
Yeah.
Have you watched the penalty decision back again since then at all?
Yeah, I've watched it. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's what angle you're looking at it from in terms of, are you a QPR fan or Bristol City fan? Like, I could see potentially why the referee gave it, probably due to the build-up of the decisions he'd made before, because any slight contact that happened in the box, he gave as a foul. Like Pisano's header was a good example, a very light contact, but he's given it as a foul. So I think probably the time he took to have a look at it and give the penalty was based on his previous decision. So in terms of an individual decision, it looked like it was the wrong one to me, but the build-up and the consistency of his decisions throughout the game would suggest it was a penalty, how he'd sort of give those decisions before that.
And you're probably due some luck, aren't you? I think I remember you saying, didn't you have some letters from the Referees Association, am I right thinking?
Yeah, well, this season as well, yeah, we've had a few, like Vyman, 2 offsides that have been chalked off. He come to me, I said, come on, you're due a goal, and he said, what are you talking about? I've scored 3 and 2. And obviously it was 1 in 2, but he did have 2 chalked off unfairly, so he was very frustrated. But it happens, you know, every club will have their version of that. So I think the pleasing thing was at half time I asked for a 3-goal mentality, and we scored 3 goals, obviously with the goal that was disallowed as well. So we've got that in the locker now to sort of crank up the dial, if you like, and turn it into gung-ho.
After the game, there was a tweet from the club showing Fam on the floor. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Yeah, he's a strange character, isn't he?
And his chest he's really tired. His chest is just going up and down like this. A couple of fans have asked, is that indicative of basically that the players are getting tired at this stage of the season, or is it just from the effort from that one game?
No, I think that's just the effort from the one game. I would probably say that the build-up from the Blackburn game, it was a heavy pitch, the Blackburn game, and at half-time I asked for a monumental effort from the lads, and to be fair, I think they gave it. And I think that was more a case of relief, do you know what I mean, and not leaving anything on the pitch. And when that happens, you feel like euphoric, if you like, and you want to lay down and take it all in from that position. But yeah, like I say, he's a bit of a madcap sometimes in the way he thinks, but certainly physically I think we're in very good shape this season, and I don't think any of the boys are tired, and if they are, no problem, next man in, because our squad's healthy.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the team used for Sunday then at Wolves? Is there anything in particular we need to know about?
Well, obviously you saw Vyman come off with a sort of back injury. He's been on some medication to try and relax the muscles. We'll try and get an osteopath in on Saturday to realign his back and his pelvis, and if that works then he'll be available. If not, then he'll certainly be available for the Norwich game. We've got one player that's not quite right, which I'm not going to reveal at this stage because it's quite an important player. But like I say, players to come in, chomping at the bit and ready to go.
So Nuno Espirito Santo returns to Ashton Gate. Obviously you've spoken about your relationship with him before in terms of you guys did your badges together up in Scotland.
Yeah, I don't like him anymore. No, I do.
Well,
I do.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, I'm joking.
Have you spoken to him much? Obviously they got promoted last season.
Not really, just because it's so busy. But I'm sure we'll sort of crack on where we left off last time, and that was a big game. You know, it was 2 big games last year. Very tense, very tight. Obviously they've kicked on. Got nothing but respect for the job he's done there. 7th in the league now. It's no mean feat. Yes, they've had money, but of course you've got to spend that very well. And it's an interesting format and project, what's happened at Wolves. So they've got a top manager there, that's for sure, and he's performing very, very well. So it's our challenge to beat the team, and if that's a case of it being a scalp on this occasion due to their Premier League status, then all the better for us, because we've managed to do that 4 or 5 times in the last 18 months.
After the game last year, which obviously, as you say there, was quite eventful, Nuno said that he was unhappy with your pre-match comments, Lee, that you had said, let's beat Wolves to help the competition. How do you interpret that? Was that a bit
I think he's probably misinterpreted that in terms of trying to... I remember at the time us discussing it after the game. I think he saw it as trying to influence the referee, and I was just saying, look, we've got to close the gap because they're running away with it. And that was the pressure, if you like, I was putting on my players to be able to perform. So, sometimes that can happen, lost in translation. But, he didn't hold himself in the perfect light, that's for sure, when he got sent off up in our boardroom. I'm surprised Alan Dix didn't two-foot him when he was all over him celebrating.
Yeah, it was Alan Dix, was it, next to him?
I think it was, yeah.
I thought it was Alan Walsh. I might have got over.
No, it was Alan Dix, not Alan Walsh. It certainly wasn't Alan Walsh.
And what do you make of Wolves at the moment? Obviously doing pretty well in the Premier League.
Yeah, listen, I went to see them play against Shrewsbury, obviously watched the game on TV, analysts come back, and they're an exceptional team. It's fantastic what they've done this year. I think they're currently in 7th, if I'm right, and looking to progress as well. This is a competition that they'll be looking at, thinking they can win it, and it's up to us to make sure that we give an excellent performance to make that very, very difficult. There's no doubt we're the underdog, and they've made some excellent signings in terms of, do you know what I mean, like European Cup winners and some big players, national players, the goalkeeper, for example. So yeah, it's up to us to play our game and play it very, very well. And I think the way Wolves play, that can be difficult because they influence you in certain areas of the pitch and try and isolate full-backs and wide men, and they're very good at it. So you've got to make sure that when you have the ball, you use it very, very well. Just
finally from myself, I just wanted to ask you about your lock-in with members of Section 82 that you mentioned in the digital fans forum.
Yeah.
That came about through Matt Parsons, didn't it?
That was me, really. I just wanted a chat. I just felt, obviously I've been here 10 years nearly as a player and as a coach now, and I just felt there wasn't quite the rapport at that stage of the season that I'd been used to with the players and the supporters and everything that was going on. So I wanted to make sure that communication was good, they understood the change in the philosophy, because there was a big change, because we lost and replaced different attributes in the players that we had, taking a lot more of the ball this year, which meant slower build-up, but it meant a better defensive record so the opposition couldn't score. And it's actually quite interesting how the singers and the songwriters, if you like, and the ones that get everybody going can influence a particular action in the game, and has to work both ways. Of course, the players, it's important that they show passion and desire. And it was just those little intricacies of, okay, if we get a corner after a run of attacks and Jamie Patterson runs over to Section 82 and tries to G him up, Jamie Patterson needs to know that that's going to be responded to, because he doesn't want to be embarrassed. So just tiny little details like that, and songs for new players. The players talked about when they have the huddle before the game, like they want a lot of noise. That sort of noise gets their hairs standing up on the back of their neck. And what point are we singing certain songs? If there's a lull in the game, can we sing a historic song, if you like, to get everybody in the crowd going? Because it's not just Section 82 who are consistent singers. We want everybody, or as much participation as possible, all the way across and around the three sides, in particular Ashton Gate.